We'll move on to the next item on our agenda this afternoon, which is a debate on the live music protection in Wales petition. And I call on the Chair of the Petitions Committee, David Rowlands, to move the motion.
Can I say I'm delighted to open this debate on behalf of the Petitions Committee. Earlier this year, the Petitions Committee and the Business Committee agreed to introduce a new petitions threshold whereby any petition which gathered more than 5,000 signatures would be considered for a debate here in plenary. At the time, I was a member of the Business Committee, and it is by a small quirk of fate that I, as Chair of the Petitions Committee, now stand here introducing this, the first debate on a petition to have achieved that threshold. I hope members here today will support this innovation for the Assembly's petitions process, which will potentially provide another route for anyone in Wales to bring their ideas and concerns directly to the Chamber. It is a splendid example of democracy in action. We, the Petitions Committee, hope that we receive a number of more petitions with this level of support over the course of this Assembly. The petition before us today was organised by Richard Vaughan and concerns the protection given to live music venues in Wales. The petition was open for signatures during April this year, and in that time it was signed by 5,383 people. The petition calls on the National Assembly for Wales to take steps to protect live music venues in Wales. Importantly, it suggests two ways of achieving this. Firstly, the petition calls for the agent of change principle to be introduced into Welsh planning, law and guidance. The principle seeks to put the onus on the developers of new premises, whether residential or commercial, to plan adequate noise reduction measures if there is an existing business such as music venues nearby. Secondly, the petition calls for local authorities in Wales to have the ability to recognise places as areas of cultural significance for music within the planning framework. This would then potentially have the bearing on future planning applications in the vicinity of such areas. Many members here will be familiar with the specific local background to this petition, which concerns Womanby Street in Cardiff city centre. A vibrant campaign has been undertaken during the first half of this year in response to local concerns about the implications of new developments planned in the heart of one of the cultural centres of our capital city. Womanby Street in the centre of the city has long been one of its foremost cultural and creative hubs, perhaps its most famous for the live music venue and Welsh language club, Clwb Ifor Bach. I am sure other members here will wish to share their own experiences, or at least some of them, of the street in their own contributions to this debate. Earlier this year, several planning applications in and around the area and fears over the impact these could have on live music venues there prompted the establishment of the Save Womanby Street campaign. The campaign, in turn, gave rise to this petition. This issue has been raised previously in this chamber by my colleague on the Petitions Committee, Neil McAvoy, and a statement of opinion has also been signed by a number of members here. Before I open this motion up to wider debate, I wanted to outline briefly what the committee has heard about the specific proposals made by the petitioners. The agent of change principle is promoted by this petition and elsewhere as a way of protecting music venues from closure. It is argued that complaints made by residents of new developments about noise levels from established music venues have been a major factor in the closure of a number of music venues across the UK in recent years. The petition argues that adopting the agent of change principle would help to protect existing live music venues by stipulating that anyone seeking to develop or redevelop property nearby would be responsible for mitigating the impact of that change. That means if, for example, housing or a hotel are built next to a live music venue, it would be the developer's responsibility to mitigate the potential impact of noise from an existing live music centre. Supporters to the agent of change principle argue that it would represent an important shift from current planning policies, which hold that whoever is reported as causing a nuisance is always responsible for that nuisance. This position is held irrespective of how long the noise considered to be a nuisance has existed, or whether someone has moved into the vicinity of the noise in full knowledge of it. It is also important to note that the principle operates in both directions. So where a new music venue is proposed near an existing residential building, then the agent of change, the music venue in this case, would need to ensure they include appropriate measures to reduce noise. The Petitions Committee first considered this petition on the 23rd of May. Given the high level of support garnered by the petition and its timely nature, the committee decided to request this debate at the earliest opportunity. The indications are that the Welsh Government has also taken notice of the strong campaigning on this issue. Shortly before the committee's first consideration of the petition, the Cabinet Secretary for Environment and Rural Affairs announced that she intends to revise national planning policy to support live music venues. We understand that in the review of Planning Policy Wales taking place this summer, the Cabinet Secretary has indicated her wish for the agent of change principle to be explicitly referenced, and also that national policy be updated to allow for the designation of areas of cultural significance. On the face of it, this appears to be a victory for the petitioners and potentially a step forward for live music venues across the country. I look forward to hearing from the Cabinet Secretary and from other members about this and how this Assembly feels that we should be protecting the future of live music in Wales. As a result of the timetable involved, we haven't been able to undertake detailed investigations into the propositions and the Cabinet Secretary's announcement. Therefore, we present this petition to the Assembly without making recommendations in any direction. The committee hopes the contributions we hear from all members today will support the Cabinet Secretary and officials to further consider the merits of the changes proposed by the petitioners.
Mike Hedges.
Thank you,